Think of a time that you had to stand in a line without pushing your way through, or maybe you had to refrain from buying something you really wanted because you had to pay your bills. Or think about how many times in social situations we have to respond to something and we respond in one way, but our brain tells us a million other ways that we want to respond that sometimes aren't as appropriate. Having the ability to do these things falls under the prefrontal cortex function of impulse control. While this seems natural to many of us as adults, children are likely to test and to explore their impulses. The full function doesn't fully develop until our mid-20s, but impulse control can be nourished and built up over time, beginning when children are very young. So impulse control is a health management occupation, and it falls under this category, but it has a direct impact on so many other areas of occupation like education and social participation and play. Children who learn impulse control earlier tend to have more friends and be more focused and successful in school, and they tend to be more independent. While impulse control is something to work on with all kids, it can be especially useful in therapy sessions with children diagnosed with ADHD or ODD and conduct disorders. So we can utilize this skill and teaching it through this impulse control and emotional regulation kit. So the first step in emotional regulation and impulse control is emotional identification. So using the zones of regulation, I have created a few ways for our clients to do that. First and foremost, the zones of regulation include the red zone, mad, angry, out of control, the yellow zone, worried, excited, silly, blue zone, sad, sick, tired, and then the ideal zone that we want our clients to be in, happy, calm, ready, or focused. So the first step in therapy would be to have clients identify where they're at. And so to grade this activity up, I would provide a lot of different examples of the emotions that tie into the zone, or we would create our own list of words to help us identify what emotions go here, and then they would choose from that list. To grade this activity down, I might just provide the picture and then the color that associates with it. And we would just talk about what this is. Or maybe I provide one or two words that go along with the zone. Along with that is we could do emotional check-ins. So with that, we might take a calendar and we could show where we are in the zones as we walk in or to start each day or however it might be, to see if there's any emotional and behavioral patterns. Maybe we notice that they're always worried in the yellow zone on Saturdays because maybe they go and spend the night with their grandmas and that makes us feel nervous. One of the activities though that I would also do with clients would be a sorting game. So I have here printed off all of these different faces that go with the different zones, and then a bunch of different words to help us figure out which face or which zone they would go to. So to grade this up, I might print out all of the words in black so that they had to actually read the word and figure out where it went. To grade it down, I might identify and label that this is the blue zone. What do you think goes with this? And we might only have one or two words to identify with it. Another way that this can be utilized and adapted really is by meeting the needs and the interest of our clients. So I've created a few different ones. So here are my inside out character cards. That helps with maybe some of the younger students or clients. And then I have my emoji cards. And then I also have created zones of regulation cards with Pokemon on them. So these Pokemon are just to create a fun way to identify our emotions, maybe for a different clients. I also have laminated some of these cards, and then I've kept some of them plain just for the textural piece. The lamination's not always appealing to clients. So that would help with that piece a little bit. Other activities that are really great that I've included in the kit to help us with impulse control is the game Jenga. So we know that if we move too quickly or we pull too hard, that our tower is going to come tumbling down. So by utilizing Jenga, we can help to make a plan, create a route that we're going to take, and understand kind of the action and the consequence. So what's going to happen? To grade this down, I as a therapist might talk to the client about which block they want to pull out, and then I might start the pull-out process and have them complete it. Another great thing to do would be to build with dominoes. So building with dominoes, I would ask the client to build a tower, not anything flat on the ground. That might be something we do for a grade down. However, I want to get hype because you have to be gentle and methodical and well planned out when you're building this tower. These are all actions of impulse control, making a plan, understanding what happens when we do certain things. Finally, I love the utilization of mazes. So this maze is pretty advanced. This would definitely be a graded up situation. But the utilization of mazes also helps us think about our actions and plan out our impulses. So rather than just going for it and running into walls and getting stuck in a maze, we really have to plan out our course of action and make sure that we're thinking about how things play out. Super important skill to have when we're talking impulse control. Finally, I might use these Pokemon cards to play a little game. So I would place my red, blue, and yellow cards in one pile, and then I would place my green in another, and we would draw a card. So on this card it says anger, and it also lists some triggers that might have set this off. And then I would pull another card, and this one says happy or calm. So how can I go from angry to happy and calm? And we could work on some strategies to figure that piece out. Maybe we utilize a stuffed animal, squeezing, hugging, talking it through. Other things we could do is utilize a stress ball. So maybe we have the client squeeze the stress ball really hard, count to 5, and a slow release as we count, and do it again. We can work on breathing exercises and things like that, but those brainstorming opportunities to think of when I'm in this state, how can I get back to green so that I can better control my impulses? Again, impulse control is a huge occupation in health management. It has such a good impact on so many different areas of life. I hope you can utilize this kit in future OT practice. And thank you so much for your time.